Hi everybody, AP Andrews here again from the Seven Devils Playwrights Conference. I hope this past week has been exciting for you and you've had the chance to work on your plays, talk with your mentors, and that you're excited for the next steps. I've heard wonderful things from all of your mentors about the things that you're working on, the ideas that you have, and I can't wait for us to develop them further with you. I wanted to talk a little bit about rewriting. This entire class will be devoted to some quick things that you can do to rewrite your script in order to make it even stronger and even closer to the idea of what you wanted when you first envisioned this idea. A lot of people say actually that the most important part of writing is rewriting. The ability to say, what I have is great, and now I'm going to see if I can take it to the next level, whatever that is. Ultimately, whatever the next level is for you depends on your own subjective feelings about the play as it stands right now. So hopefully your mentor was able to give you some personal feedback, an idea or two about things you might think about in rewrites, just to make things more clear. But the idea is to make sure that you're telling the story that you want to tell, the story that only you know how to tell, because it came from your mind. This is really, really important. Save is your friend. I'll say it again, just because it's that important. The save button is your friend. It's incredibly important to remember that what you've written right now will always be there. So you don't have to be afraid of trying something else. If you save the script that you have on your computer, say we call it today's version of the script, right? And then you open up another version of the script, you copy paste it, and you change a whole bunch of stuff, right? Maybe it'll be great, and that will be the new version of the script. You can save it, new version of the script. Or maybe you'll try all these things and see that they don't quite work the way you wanted to. Well, because you've saved the original version, all of those changes that you tried that didn't work, you can put them to the side and you can go back to where you started, right? What you've built is safe. And that gives you the opportunity to be brave in your writing. And I hope that you'll do that over the course of the next week. A quick note, when you do try something, when you do make changes and they don't go the way you planned, we at Seven Devils Playwrights Conference actually call that a success. Because what you're doing is you're taking the idea that you have of what might make the play better, you're giving it a shot. And ultimately, if it doesn't work, you know that now. That's a step forward. You know that if you want something else to happen, you're going to have to try a different way of doing it. You could have been thinking about that in your head for the next 6 months, but the fact that you tried it and you know that it doesn't work, that gets you moving even faster towards the ultimate goal, which is the new version of what you want. So, all the philosophy stuff aside, how do we rewrite a script? The real answer is there's no right and wrong way to do that. You're just trying to get the script closer to the story that you want to tell. What I'm going to offer today, though, are 3 practical exercises that you can do to start rewriting your script and start making it stronger. And remember, each of the following exercises is completely optional, and you can do them in any order that you want. If you hear something that speaks to you and you think might be good for your play, give it a shot. And if not, just skip it for now. You can come back later if you decide it's important. The first thing I want to talk about, and this might have been a thing that you could have thought about last week, I'm sure you've already started to stumble across it, is that once you have characters who have wants and there's real stakes and they're choosing different tactics to get what they want, they're probably going to come across an obstacle. Sometimes that's an antagonist, sometimes that's an inner demon, an emotional thought that's keeping them from what they want. It's a hurdle between them and their needs. What is the obstacle for your main character in your play? A great thing to do in a rewrite is to figure out what the main character's obstacle is as you've written it, if there is one, and then to make it bigger. Make that obstacle even more daunting. So it's one thing for Harry Potter to fly away from an enemy on his broomstick. That's exciting. We love to see it. But if he has to fly away from an enemy on his broomstick and his glasses are broken and it's raining and he happens to be scared of heights, that's another thing entirely. It's more exciting. It's scarier. We want to watch. We want to know what's going to happen. We're so much happier when he succeeds. And we're so much more sad if he falters. Another example of taking an obstacle and making it more demanding. It's one thing for Luke to battle Darth Vader, but it's another thing entirely for him to battle Darth Vader when, spoiler alert, he later finds out that Darth Vader is actually his father. He knows that this evil has to be vanquished, but what happens when emotionally he also knows that he's killing his own dad? So think about it. Who are the characters in your play and what do they want? And what are the obstacles that are keeping them from what they want? See what happens if you take that obstacle, put it into a new draft, and see what happens if you make that obstacle bigger. Make it scarier, whether it be physically or emotionally, mentally, spiritually. What happens if the character has to do even more to get the thing that they want? The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is to take a look at that list of wants, stakes, and tactics that you made last week. See if you can find it. And then take another look at your script. Read through it. Read it out loud or read it to yourself. Just get an idea of the story as you have it right now. Then look at your list of wants and tactics and stakes again. Are all of those things present in your script? What does each of the characters want? Is that clear? Are the tactics that they're using to get those things clear? What's at stake for them? Can any of those things be just a little bit bigger? Take 20 minutes even to put your script into a new document and give it a shot. Make one of those things just a little bit bigger. They want something a little bit harder. The tactics that they choose are a little bit more extreme. The stakes are just a little bit higher. See what happens if you dial it up just a notch. And finally, you may be wondering what you're going to do if the wants are clear, the stakes are clear, the tactics are clear, and the obstacles are clear. You're at a point where you're pretty happy with the script. Here's another quick and easy way to make the story clearer. Trim it down. One thing that happens whether you're a new writer or a seasoned veteran is that on a first draft, you very often overwrite. You, as the writer, you're trying to figure out what these characters want by having them speak, having them talk it out. Because of that, the characters might take a while to figure out what they're saying. Take a look at this dialogue in your script. We'll start with a sample scene. Here, Ash says, "And so, I don't think we can be together anymore." Brooke stares at Ashley for a moment. "Brooke, I feel like I hardly know you. You're a different person. When I met you, you were kinder. Now, you're like a stranger to me." Brooke exits. This is a perfectly fine line of dialogue. We know what the character is trying to say. But if you look closer, notice that every sentence in this line is actually saying the exact same thing. While it may have taken writing all 4 of these sentences for the playwright to articulate what they actually mean, now that you're rewriting, you have the opportunity to make it clearer and also have more impact. So, what if the character just said, "Ash, and so I don't think we can be together anymore." Brooke stares at Ashley for a moment. "When I met you, you were kinder." Brooke exits. See how that changes things? It makes Brooke seem more certain and makes his remark that much more powerful because there are fewer things to understand as the audience. Very often, if a play seems long or you're starting to lose interest, it's because the characters are repeating themselves. Your mind starts to say, well, they're just going to say the same thing over and over again 4 times in a row, so I can stop listening. I wonder what's for dinner. Our job as playwrights is to hopefully make audiences think a little bit less about what they're going to eat after they leave the theater. Trimming your script is a great way to do that. So that's the end of our lesson on rewriting. Feel free to try any of these exercises that I've provided for you. Making the obstacles larger, going back and pumping up the script that you already have, or going back and trimming some of the scenes down. Even if you try one of these things and it doesn't work, that's something that you ultimately can still talk to your mentor about on Monday, and they'll be able to guide you further. Just give it a shot. Writing is one thing, but remember, rewriting is where the magic happens. For stories to be good, to be engaging, the creator has to spend time making it better, dreaming big, taking chances. You have this safety net that exists because you can always save your work and go back to where you were. That work is safe. So now it's just about taking chances, learning from your mistakes, and enjoying the ride. Thanks so much for spending this time with us, and we can't wait to be back in McCall next year. Have a great day.